Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here, and today we are looking at X-Men Elsewhen, Volume 4 by John Byrne. Alright, so what the heck is this that I'm even looking at? You guys are like freaking out. What is this, a John Byrne X-Men comic? So hardcore John Byrne fans who follow his forum, Byrne'Robotics.com, know that he's been doing, for the past couple years now, a free fan fiction featuring the X-Men. It's called X-Men Elsewhen. He even admits that's kind of a cheesy name, but couldn't come up with anything else. So, hey, it's Elsewhen. We'll take it. So it's basically free on his website, www. I think I forgot a W the first time, Byrne'Robotics.com. And like I said, that's his forum under fan fiction. It's all free. You cannot get a printed edition like this. If you guys are going to ask me where you can get one, you have to make them yourself. So with a little help from my friend, I made one myself. And, you can't buy them. They're not for sale. Byrne does not own the copyright to these characters. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a cease and desist. But whatever, it's fan fiction, right? He's not selling it. I mean, of course, he's selling the original pages and probably making bank. But he would be selling commissions using Marvel characters anyway, so if we get a free X-Men story out of the deal, I'll take it. So this is fun. This is one of his commissions. For a few years, Byrne only worked on commissions because he was so dissatisfied with the state of the comic book industry and how unrecognizable the characters were that he knew and loved. So he just decided to do commissions, and then he could draw the characters that he knew and loved, how they should be. So this is volume 4. It's issues, I guess 18 through 24, something like that. Volume 4. What if Jean Grey had survived? So if Jean Grey had survived and John Byrne stayed on the book and apparently killed Chris Claremont and buried him, this is what would be happening. Here's Gladiator from the Imperial Guard. If you guys have been following X-Men Elsewhen, you know he's, for whatever reason, plays a huge part in this, as does Phoenix, Lilandra, and some other random characters. So this collects parts 19 through 24 of John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere. It's actually Elsewhen, but whatever. It is not intended for sale, just for reading pleasure. And for show and tell, apparently. Here I am showing and telling you guys. Everyone knows I love me some Byrne, and the story, this is what happens when John Byrne does an X-Men book without an editor. The story tends to be a little all over the place, but it's still entertaining. Lots of great character moments, and the art is just alone. If nothing else, the art is so killer. I mean, you get this great splash page here of Spider-Man swinging through the city, and Nightcrawler hiding on the side of the building. It's funny because when he was first introduced, I don't think anyone thought that he was furry. And then I want to say it was probably Louise Simonson who it may have been Joe Duffy. I'm not sure, but I know it was a female who thought he was furry and called him Fuzzy Elf. Maybe it was Glynis Wine at this point. I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. But anyway, I feel like after the fact, like Byrne never really used to draw Nightcrawler kind of furry, although we don't really see him out of his costume too much. The only thing that threw me off about him being Fuzzy Elf for me is if he's supposed to be like Mystique's child, then she just has blue skin. So I mean, I guess it's possible to have blue skin and be furry and have blue fur on top of it. I don't know, but I just thought it made it a little more realistic to be related to Mystique if it wasn't fur. I mean, could you imagine if she had fur on her? I mean, I guess, look at Tigra. But how cool is this? Okay, so I'm getting, talk about all over the place. I'm all over the place. So the X-Men are now engaged in this story where they're fighting this sort of alternate universe where Magneto had formed the X-Men. And you get Byrne's Archangel here. You can tell he's different because he's got this flaming sword and he's got an M on his belt instead of an X. which is an interesting trivia that when Stan Lee first made the X-Men, they were originally called the Mutants, and I don't know what changed that. I think they just thought it was kind of unappealing or something, but I guess in the long run, I mean, X marks the spot. The X brand is so famous. So if you have Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver, can't be that far behind. It's funny because John Byrne is a huge Neil Adams fan, and he was pretty much a Neil Adams clone when he came into the industry, and every once in a while you'll see an image throughout Elsewhen that'll be just like, okay, he's channeling Neil there. I love Byrne so much. I mean, he just, you would think that he would just be doing nothing but splash pages and like hero shots and just like, I don't know, action scenes and stuff, but he's the consummate comic book storyteller. I mean, you're getting all this detail and just like so much detail, and just, I feel like you can tell that Byrne likes to even draw the mundane stuff because he does it so well. I mean, that feels like a living room you could just actually sit down in. And I love seeing Angel. He draws such a great Angel. I mean, he draws everyone so good, of course. Nobody draws the X-Men and or superheroes like John Byrne does. Here comes that pesky Gladiator. It's really cool. As much as I would love to see this, as a finished comic book, inked and colored, the pencils are so freaking tight that they don't even really need inking. And I just love being able to see the art. I always found it interesting that, Byrne, I guess since he knew it was going to be in black and white, but he could have just, put a couple X's there to indicate blackness, but he gives till it hurts. I mean, he just turned 71 in July, and he is still cranking out, basically. I mean, he posts a new page every day. It's kind of nice to have these traits like this that you make yourself because, first of all, I like to hold a comic book in my hand and look at it. And second of all, it sort of makes it a little more cohesive. Reading a monthly book on a daily page basis is a little weird, the rhythm. But, I wish I could save it up. But that's like one of the first three things I do when I wake up, I roll over, grab my phone, go to Byrne Victims, and then go to Byrne Robotics to look at the new fan fiction. Storm, I love Storm, one of my favorite X-Men. John Byrne draws her so well. So great to see her in her original costume until Cheapo, has her costume get totally ripped up by Iceman, which was a cool, inventive use of his powers, and I like his evil look here, because these are, the evil X-Men led by Magneto. But he totally shreds Storm's costume, and I think that's because he didn't want to have to draw it anymore with that big curvy cape. I could be wrong. This is such a great, splash page. I mean, I love how Byrne always chooses these, cool angles. I always thought he would be a great director. I wonder if he ever thought about that or just dabbled in that at all. Not that I know of. But this is fun. You get to see, Magneto with his X-Men mutants around them. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in their old costumes. And this is based, I guess Byrne did a commission that was what if Magneto had formed the X-Men. So this is sort of the realization of that story through X-Men Elsewhen. And it really is the gift that keeps giving. I mean, the art is just so good and so much fun. What a great shot of Angel and Storm there. The Watcher just popping in out of nowhere for good measure. That's not half an X on his belt buckle. Oh, that's funny. It could be half an X, the top half of the X. No, there's something very deep and meaningful in that, the marriage of Professor X and Magneto. Interesting. So Storm, never mentioned before ever, her costume gets ripped up, and then she says it's made from unstable molecules. So that gives her the ability to manipulate them into this new, easier to draw, weird biker shorts costume. First of all, let me say that if wouldn't the unstable molecules prevent it from being torn up, and or at least make them easier to form into what they're supposed to look like? I don't know. I'm just being nitpicky. What can I say? Otherwise, it's kind of I like when Byrne throws in those cool, like, story ticks or just, like, little things. You know, just keep it interesting, make it interesting. It's one of the asparagus people that Phoenix wiped out coming back for revenge. She did wipe out an entire planet, you know. Billions of souls. Biff. Asparagus people. Here comes some squirrel. I mean, you gotta love John Byrne for little things like that. 21. Are we on issue 21 already? Boy, time flies when you're reading Byrne. And how cool is that? Like Thor just dropping in out of nowhere. Looking boss. It's always so exciting when, you know, Byrne is drawing like the X-Men and suddenly the Fantastic Four are there, or still holding out for some better participation from Alpha Flight, but I don't think we'll be seeing that. Supposedly in the works is like Byrne's Wolverine origin story, which would be so good. I can't wait to see that. I hope Sabretooth's his father, like it should be. That origin story, oh my god, that one in the 90s with the James Howlett and all that crap. Oh my god, what a god-awful mess that was. Is that still canon? I mean, that, like, the best thing about Wolverine was not knowing his origin, and then they're gonna come out with that crap. Oh my god, that was horrifying. Were you guys fans of Origin? I just thought it kind of sucked and kind of ruined everything. And just, like, I would rather have Weapon X, you know, that seemed like kind of like Wolverine's origin story in a way. And it was just kind of dark and confusing and didn't answer too many questions. I feel like the more they explain crap, the more watered down it becomes in some situations. I mean, there's just like crazy detail in this art. Some pages are just like insane. Like, I don't know, would this be what Byrne considers argle-bargle with like just a bunch of debris and stuff? But man, he draws it so well. Like, you know, you can draw rubble terribly and have it just look wrong and confusing, and Byrne just draws everything perfectly. It's Pablo, the runaway hit character of the book, some random little kid with weird, powerful powers that are kind of unexplainable or haven't been explained yet, but whatever. It's kind of all over the place. Like, Phoenix keeps coming back and leaving, and then there's like this cyborg lady from the Imperial Guard. And I'm just here for the ride, guys. I mean, come on. Magneto's helmet, drawn by John Byrne. What more do you need? We need it all. And we have it all. Oh, there's a Gladiator. I was worried about you. You know, I mean, even though John Byrne is such a stickler for like OG things and stuff, but I mean, that headdress on Scarlet Witch, first of all, doesn't make sense. And second of all, was never super flattering. I kind of like the one after that. It looks like a weird, I don't know. I mean, her head looks like a penis there. Gosh, we're almost through it. And the art is just really pretty. You know, so many artists. I feel like Byrne has definitely had different phases throughout his career, art-wise. You know, at one point he kind of changed the way he drew faces and made them a little longer, and that didn't really do much for his art. In my opinion, I kind of like his old faces better. But I feel like this was sort of a return to greatness for him. Like, the art just really is pretty spot on and just has never looked better. I mean, if this doesn't make you miss the X-Men before all the whatever the hell is going on now. Shaman, Dr. Michael, Two Young Men, and Vindicator, Guardian rather. Wolverine is like just totally wrecked through half this book. Like, he goes through the ringer, let me tell you, putting that healing factor to the test. This is fun. It looks like it just came out of a Xerox machine. It's a Xerox machine. Google it. It's a cool image of Storm. I like that. Mirror, mirror. And Byrne does all the lettering too with this little, I think he cuts out the balloons and pastes them on a page. I could be wrong about that. I know he used to, but it's the alternative X-Men. It's funny, like, looking at the pencils and stuff, you'll see, like, these penciled in grids that Byrne uses. And that's how you have good perspective, and everything is, you know, what do you call it? In form, as far as size. Like, you know, he's just, like, professional. That would drive me crazy drawing in all those little grids, but I guess that's why my perspective can be a little wonky sometimes. I don't have the patience for that crap. But luckily now, you know, with all the all the programs like Procreate and stuff, you don't need to know how to draw perspective or anything. Damn. Great shot of Thor. Love that. It's always so fun to see, like, the classic Marvel characters, how they should be. Like Lady Sif. This is a fun shot of Peter and Kurt. It's weird. It's funny how they just feel comfortable and they just look right and good. You know, having John Byrne draw the X-Men is definitely one of the better things in life. See that what I mean about Neil Adams? That's like totally giving me Neil Adams vibes with the like shading on the face here. I feel like he said as much as, like, one of the reasons John Byrne's likes drawing Gladiator so much is because he's basically Superman with a blue mohawk. So, you know, it gives him an opportunity to draw Superman poses anyway. Kitty is like one of the interests, as you would expect. She's like one of the more interesting characters in the book. To kind of see Byrne's like take on her as opposed to the direction Chris Claremont went. I mean, she feels like the same character, of course, but slightly askew. Major Kirby vibes from all this stuff. See, this is kind of a page that I would like to see inked and colored. Can't we have both, guys? I mean, come on. Marvel had the opportunity to publish this and they passed. Fools, morons. Like, it'd be just like printing money. I mean, who doesn't want the X-Men by John Byrne? Nobody. Anyway, that's the latest, greatest collection. I think they're on issue 25. Maybe, yeah, 25 in the on the Byrne Robotics forum. Make sure you go check that out if you want to read it absolutely free. If you have the patience or the discipline to, like, have it made into a hard copy, that's great. Just don't sell it. It's fan fiction, not for profit. You don't want Marvel and DC on your back. Or Marvel and Disney, my bad. Anyway, thanks so much for watching X-Men Elsewhen by John Byrne. Please subscribe to my channel, hit like, share my content, and I'll bring you some more later. All right, thanks, guys.